and the condition is really terrible. So in this year's PIP budget, Volume 3, whether it's Part A or Part B, page 567, the budget allocation for this particular highway from Port Moresby to Alotau, the section between Kwikila and Ganai is 6 million kina. So my first question to the minister is, will there be any maintenance done on this Magi highway for that amount of money? And if so, when will that maintenance be done? Right, my second question is phrased like this. I understand that long-term performance contracts are being awarded for different sections of this highway along the way, and I understand maybe one or two of the contractors are already working. But I also understand that this particular section that I referred to earlier on, especially the eastern part, will be subject to a complete rehabilitation. So if that is the case, my question to the minister is, when will the contract for this rehabilitation contract be signed, and when will the works begin? Because the condition of the road is terrible, and it must take a terrible toll on the PMB operators and the people themselves. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister of Works.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank you, long good law brother. Member Blo Rigolo asking this very important question. Mr. Speaker, it is important in the sense that Planty Blong I was Bluyumi, he work lo fall apart. Planty time is a talk the floor of Parliament. Also, money me like kiss him every year through the budgetary allocation is not enough. As a result, Planty Blong or highways Bluyumi, work lo bagarap. There will come a time in life when these highways will no longer be used. Mr. Speaker, lo comeback lo question lo honourable member. First thing first, government Bluyumi, he approve him finish na award him contract. He go lo 2+ section belong lo Magi highway. 1+ section and lo Bautama roundabout. He go lo Imila bridge. I mean, 148.2 kilometer section. The contract has already been awarded to a local company, construction company. Sorry, I got it wrong. It is 142.2 kilometers, and it will cost 73.6 million kina. The contract has already been awarded to Kana Construction. I must make it absolutely clear that this amount of money and that this distance or length of road, this contract is not for rehabilitation and sealing. It is only for maintenance for within a period of 5 years. We will need more money, Mr. Speaker, to do major rehabilitation and sealing of this section. And the member is right, the road on this particular section is falling apart. And it is no joke. It's not only on Magi Highway. Hiritano Highway is also falling apart. Magi Highway is falling apart. Every highway in the country is falling apart. But we are trying our best. Mr. Speaker, the second section of the Magi Highway is from Imila Bridge to Moroguina turnoff. It's a 54.6 kilometer section of road. Contract has already been awarded to a local company, Global Construction, for 164 million. Mr. Didla, contracts with Mibla government yawadim langan. It is a contract that goes down like this. The contractor puts up some money, state puts up some money, so while the government continues to get through the process of getting money out of Wagani, the contractor can also use his money on a deferred payment process. Mr. Speaker, the deferred payment process is not a new thing to us in this country. Right now, we are operating on deferred payment contracts, where the contractors are carrying the Department of Works on behalf of the state. We are making payments but slowly we are making payments. I must give credit to all the contractors. And these particular contracts that have been awarded, which is almost about 6 contracts right throughout the country. There's one section along East and West New Britain, along East New Britain side, where tender has not been complied with, so it has been retendered. But you are really looking at almost $1 billion kina worth of new contracts that have been awarded. Responsibility now stop with the Mibla government to make sure that this contract is signed. Now funding must come so that by me walking this Bikla road. Mr. Speaker, Lorigo Abao district, Magi Highway, Dila section, Lorigo Igolo Abao, and by Golgata long Alatau. And on that same section of the road, at some time it is also in the plan that it will turn left, it goes along Oro province, long Pomodeta too. To cut the story short, at the moment, Mr. Speaker, I don't have money to do maintenance on this particular section of the highway, just like every highway in the country. This allocation of 6 million kina, which the member is talking about, that has been reflected or that's been inserted in the budget in 2022, will take time to come. But Mr. Speaker, 6 million kina is not enough. We plan on money. The only thing we can do with 6 million is to do periodic maintenance on just a couple of sections. So, Mr. Speaker, there is no one to blame here, but these are the serious and the facts of what our roads are facing and what Department of Works is facing. We are aware of all these major difficulties that we are going through. Mr. Speaker, we can only try our best to do bits and pieces. Inogat nadla more story, or nadla talk, or nadla word, but me kiss him, lo comfort him. All the people blame me, lo country. It will depend on money. As soon as we get some money to do highway maintenances for right throughout the country, we can start to do a little bit of maintenance work. Mr. Speaker, I think me answering the question, this particular road that we are talking about is a national highway. So, me no nablo some district you walk or province you go walk nogat. It's a major section of the national highway, and it comes under the Connect PNG program to go all the way to Alatau. So, I take your question on board, and we will try our best to help where we can. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member of Abao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My supplementary is this. Thank you, Honourable Minister, for answering those questions. Also, I want to thank the government for the Connect PNG program. In the launching at Laguna, I think I was only a few from the opposition that attended that launching because I believed in the Connect PNG principle. So thank you for also our Minister and the Prime Minister and the government for funding the Magi Highway rehabilitation program. But like the Treasurer's budget, when he presents it, it's the way the Treasury team and Finance team manage the budget. For example, you have given yourselves 3 million on that side for DSIP, and we've only got 1 million on this side. That's the same issue as the question that I will be putting to the Minister for Works. The questions are these. In January, in the public papers, it was announced that Global was awarded a long-term contract under the Connect PNG policy on the Magi Highway to begin from Milne Bay, coming back towards Central. And when I checked with the Secretary for Health, he said that's about 126 kilometers, and they were given initially 38 million. And so when will that work begin? That's the first question. And then with the global contract, we are also aware, and Minister, you say that the global was also given from Imila to Moreguina, but no work has started whatsoever. You remember last time I asked you on the floor, the above side of Magi Highway from Doma, which is the end of Magi Highway in Cloudy Bay, right through to the turnoff, nobody did the job, so I had to negotiate with the Cloudy Bay Timber Company to fix it from Doma right through to Kapari Sawmill. All the potholes were cleared up and everything clean now. Trucks are going up and down that section of the highway. Now, I am aware, Mr. Minister, that a company called Nisag Engineering Limited, I don't know where they are from, but they were given the contract worth $7.65 million from Moreguina to Gadoguina. Moreguina to Gadoguina has already been cleaned up. So I don't know what this company is going to do to spend that 7.5 million, 65 million kina. So you need to get your secretary and your engineers to go and do on-site inspection. Otherwise, one contractor is just going to do the bulldozer, 300,000 kina worth, but he collects 7.6 million, like all the prices that projects, you guys on that side inflate the project, similar to this example, under the so-called PIP. The second, so Minister, please check that out. The second one is a contract awarded to Clean Green Energy, 9.95 million. I don't know who this company belongs to, but many above-based companies applied for these contracts. But these contractors are completely from another side of the country, while all our local contractors missed out. They equally have the same capability. And so, Minister, please ask the above people, who are these people? And this particular Clean Green Energy is going to receive 9.95 million kina to do the road from Liba River to Bonua River. Minister, please, I told you to go and inspect Magi Highway. Liba River and Bonua River and thick virgin forest here. No road there. Nothing. The Magi Highway stops at Doma in Cloudy Bay. Liba to Bonua and Busia, virgin forest. Now, you have awarded Clean Green Energy 9.95 million all by walking YNM. Tell this honorable house, tell the people of above, while the member for Rigo has complained that that section that the member for Rigo has mentioned is falling apart. Now, remember, you only driven up once or twice. I go up every week there. Every time I come back, my socks are gone. All the PMVs 3 times a week, their sockets are gone, tires are flat. And Minister, you have been the longest serving works minister. You complain about yourself, no money, no money. But I am the one that's receiving the complaint from my people that I'm not fixing. I don't receive the money for the Magi Highway. No gotcha. So somebody here is not doing the work. Oh, now, please. So this Clean Green Energy, I've done some work, and I think I know who this company belongs to. I don't go below the belt like some of you. But the truth is truth. Truth
Honorable,
is truth. So,
Member, your question, please.
House, how come these contracts are awarded while my local companies are there? They know where to get the gravel pits. They know how to negotiate. You bring in somebody completely outside, all by Rousey Mall. Yeah. So, Minister, please, tell us. 50,000 people of Aba, we've been waiting for this Magi Highway to be fixed. I was on the other side, so I never asked about it, because ministers never ask questions. I'm on this side, so I'm asking you twice now, while I'm in the opposition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Works.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me talk thank you, law. Brother Blumi, senior se Pukatemo, Honorable Se Pukatemo, a member of law, about law, ask him this question. Me also understand him why, and me come up emotional legally. Mr. Speaker, did la country and blow you me all gata. whether it be central law, and that law like a pogerao, law east west ni Britain law esa alao. We all have the right to be concerned about what is happening in right throughout our country. Mr. Speaker, underneath law this law connect PNG program when we talk longen, law one block contract and we go global construction and underneath law TSSP program, we block government is awarding one block contract law allotted by million by work back end. This is funding that is coming from the people of Australia through the Australian aid program. You must talk, thank you, Lord Isla. Over the years, they have been doing very small periodic maintenance. Now, Lisa working legally work below 500,000 kind of thing, but lately they have picked up some big sections of highways in the country. So I want to thank them while I have the opportunity. Now, yes, still a contract is already been awarded and work should start by now. Normally, it takes a bit of time when a contract is awarded. Contract has already been signed about, I think, a month and a half ago. Contractor will have to be given the possession of site and then all by setup. Mobilizations will have to be paid. So it does take a bit of time, but contract has already been signed. It is from the Australian government, so that section of the road, that project is guaranteed. The earlier part that me talk along this long-term maintenance here, it is from the government of Papua New Guinea. NEC has approved it. It is now with the state solicitor for them to prepare the contract documents, and then when legal clearance is given and contract documents are ready, if it does not come straight to come back, mobilizations will have to be paid. So it does take a bit of time, but contract has already been signed. It is from the Australian government, so that section of the road, that project is guaranteed. The earlier part that me talk along this long-term maintenance here, it is from the government of Papua New Guinea. NEC has approved it. It is now with the state solicitor for them to prepare the contract documents, and then when legal clearance is given and contract documents are ready, if it does not come straight to come back to NEC for us to clear it and advise the head of state, it may go to the head of state for the signing. So that will take a bit of time. It has not come out of the state solicitor's office yet. Not a lot of big places where Emmy raising.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order. Honourable Member, what's your point of order?
The two contracts that I have given are below 10 million. And that's how they are managing it. Anything below 10 million doesn't go back to cabinet, so we'll give him nothing. Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, saya puka sampai time please you senior to mas ya you aram pasti nami bela pinisima all answers. Tisla all work ya. Nokat man plaman emi tambuim. Yumi lo go long regional or provincial works office play me. Some legally called projects underneath long osem 10 million, 5 million. Plenty blood all the projects. Emisa come straight underneath long provincial works. Like in the case of Central Province, you have a Central Provincial Works Division ME staff. You have the right to go and ask the Provincial Works Manager and engineer and look him, na kiss him straight, talk why these contracts have been awarded. I think over the years we have been saying that a particular group of people from a particular region are picking up all the work and that kind of thing. I think you mean it lost of him the Lakain Tok Tok. This country belongs to every Papua New Guinean and every contractor, as long as they qualify and as long as these projects are put through the normal process, long tender process, Nakain Osem, that's also one contractor me kissing one pla work. I think good pla law, you may appreciate him. But the biggest concern here, kind of say, puka me raise him and me osem. Some pla blood law work here, it's not done. All right. Right now, as I speak, my departmental head is sitting there in his office, watching me speak and watching the questions come in. So I'm pretty sure he will prepare some answers for the benefit of the member for Abao. Mr. Speaker, digital road projects here. One last something, there are big differences between the scope of work. One, when you talk about periodic maintenance, you are really talking about putting a grader through, cutting the bushes, clearing the drains. That's maintenance. When it comes to rehabilitation, then you rip up the existing roads, you can cut new corners, and rebuilding a road to its original standard. Where a road that has already been sealed, if you have a rehabilitation contract, that road will be rebuilt to seal road stage. And so, sampla time you me looking money stop, now working maintenance, me blood talk was no only no sealing road, na upgrading road. Unfortunately, when the money is not enough, depending on what the money is for and what the scope of works says, it is done in that manner. But for the benefit of the member for Abao, Mr. Speaker, I will get the Secretary of the Department to prepare a written response for him so that at least he can have something in writing from us so I can talk to our people belonging. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor, Regional Member of Bougainville.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Long give him look save long special region long Bougainville. Question blom inogat notice go long good pla Minister blong Yumi long intergovernment relations. We believe long December 2021 cabinet been approving all board members na councillors now good pla presidents blow Yumi lo go inside long payroll. Unfortunately, me pla long special region long Bougainville. Me plan no been included long this pla exercise na question blow me go long Honorable Minister discussions blow this pla too long including all ward members blow me pla long ABG been stop long all discussions long JSB na me like ask him lo good pla Minister for the benefit of all new pla members blow me pla also at only been recently elected all how far you walk long go one time this exercise na inap you giving me pla or people belong Bougainville indication long one position belong ministry below you lo carry out this pla exercise. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister in the government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I thank the regional member for Bougainville to answer question the simple, but it's important to, for the people of, especially people of autonomous region of Bougainville. My department has, or NEC gave us a green light to put the councillors on the payroll, and that ward councillors that is progressing now. Shortly we will put them on the payroll. As to the ward members or community ward members in Bougainville, we have taken numerous discussions are taking place, and I appreciate it, the member taking this serious and approached me several occasions regarding the ward members in autonomous region of Bougainville to have them on the payroll. So what we have done is we have progressed to include them with the rest of the council members or ward members to put them on the payroll. After that, we may decide whether we how we do it, that we administratively we can be done. They are Papua New Guineans. We also have to give due respect and care. And so I want to assure you, the Honourable Regional Member, your concerns are serious concerns. That is our concern as well, and we will put them on the payroll, including Oresta, Papua New Guinea. Thank you very much.
Honourable Member Yalibu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my questions are directed to our good treasurer, who presented his ministerial statement yesterday, and unfortunately I wasn't here to make a few remarks, but I've had a good opportunity to have a look at that. And Mr. Speaker, my good treasurer's obsession with me and making reference to me is, or the love that he has got for me is understandable. But I can tell you that that love is not returned, so it's quite misplaced. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to say to this Honourable House that many times we use the privileges of this House to bagarabi molmana. Of course, some of us who are on this floor, we can defend ourselves, but there are those who are outside of this House, who are professionals in their own right, who have got a long and distinguished careers, unnecessarily dragged into our political debate here and spoiling character blow na sanab blow society. So we need to be careful, Mr. Speaker. Bagarabi molman natin. If you have got facts, declare them and pronounce them outside of this House so that they can defend themselves and they can take you to task. But using privileges blow this House, lo working this law something no good plan. But going to my questions, Mr. Speaker, the minister's statement clearly highlights that he's doing it for transparency and good governance that he's releasing this statement. And the statement is Mr. Speaker, most welcome. But time and to talk about transparency or something, I can't for the life of me see any numbers that have been presented in here that reflects that, Mr. Speaker. Emi totok lo one bla report blo IMF, no put in this report to come inside. So first question blo me or Sam. Minister, one time by you table him this la report blo IMF lo economy blo yumi lo country. Number one. Number two, suppose Minister base him question statement plan law, some number, me like ask him where is it based on the 2021 final budget outcomes? One time I present him this law or this house. So we can have a fair debate on where we are in terms of the economy of our country, Mr. Speaker. So the lack of numbers that the minister has not been able to present is, in his very important statement is quite concerning. That does not reflect transparency. That does not reflect good governance. Mr. Speaker, second question below me, Emi Totoklo, this issue relating to the IMF report. Me like a minister explaining the country in this house what he means by staff monitored, IMF staff monitoring of our economy. Meaning blend one him something. Me lo legally understanding below me saw suppose on the team of some government or economy no go good way or me play no beyond in budget, IMFs are sometimes come inside as conditions. Now, I must highlighting this house, what are those conditions if they are here monitoring our economy for 6 months? Now, tupla look me, Mr. Speaker, me like I'm explaining this house what is the IMF's position on the wages blowout, public service wages blowout. If the IMF is expressing concerns about that, Mr. Speaker, what is the Treasurer's position and what has his department and his government has done to curb this particular expenditure? Year in, year out, and blowout yet, so what is the Treasurer's position? Secondly, some time, all this kind of institution global institutions like IMF and World Bank, when they see the government's addictiveness to debt, and our inability to repay debt, they do come in and, of course, put those kind of monitorings in place. What is the IMF's position? My third question is, what is the IMF's position on your government's borrowings over the last 3 years? Could that report be also be presented to this Honourable House for us to see? Second issue, Mr. Speaker, is that fourth issue, Mr. Speaker, is that the good treasurer talks about growing the GDP. I can only see that the GDP growth is a reflection of the very unusually high commodity prices that we are experiencing so far. Gold, copper, LNG prices, oil, they are all at record levels, which is giving us good revenue for our country. But what are the other policy parameters in which the Treasury is talking about that this government has put in place that is translated into the growth of the GDP? Why I ask this question, Mr. Speaker, is that unemployment is skyrocketing in our country. Companies are laying Papua New Guinean citizens off the payroll. Families are struggling. Cost of living is going up. What is the Treasury's position on those issues? Can he tell this Honourable House, since coming to office, how many jobs has this government created to reflect the growth of GDP and the performance of the economy? Can we have actual numbers so the Treasurer can tell us and tell this Honourable House what this government is doing? From the budget papers and the estimates that we are getting from the official documents that we see, Mr. Speaker, and that's available on public, the debt levels have now risen. In 2018, it was 26.9 billion, 2018, end of 2018. As of end of 2022, and the estimate is that it will be 52.87 billion, Mr. Speaker. Can the Treasurer...
Honourable Member, we have a point of order.
Firstly, the member for Yelu Pange is using an opportunity for question time to debate. But that's one point of order. Second point of order, let me point it to him. His own final budget outcome for 2018 reflects debt to GDP at 31% and not 26%. The combined review that the Treasurer did is much higher when we took office, when we did an authentic review on the total debt stock in our country that went beyond that figure. So he can't be saying it's 26%, make himself look good. It was at 31%, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister, your number one point of order is in order. Honourable Member Yelabu Pangia, you can ask your question and we'll allow the Minister to respond to your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's reference to those numbers are quite correct, and I know that he was my longest-serving finance minister, so he should know how he helped me manage the economy. So let me put it this way. I did not say 26%, Mr. Speaker. I said 26 billion kina. 26.9 in fact, which is 32%, 32.66% of GDP, just to give you exact numbers because I have access to them too. So, Mr. Speaker, I am asking the Treasurer that, because the Treasurer's statement reflects on debt and deficit, how we have financed deficit. That is why I'm trying to give you clarity, Mr. Speaker.
Hello, order. Honourable Member.
So, Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Member Yalebo, we are not debating here. I want you to ask your question to the Minister, and the Minister will respond to your question.
Me giving you background so that you can understand him legally, Mr. Speaker. So, me talk them. Me talk them. At the end of 2022, this government has stated that our debt level will be 52.876 billion kina, reflecting 52.40%. Those are the actual numbers, Mr. Speaker. So I just want the Treasurer to highlight to this Honourable House and to the country that huge increase, virtually double the size of the debt in the country. What have you spent the money on? because some of us are at loss. You've been complaining about the deficit levels during my government, whereas your average